Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is a monthly chat from the team at Mobilise. My name's James, and this is Suzanne.
Hello, good afternoon.
So we are the tech startup by carers and for carers, and we have some really interesting insights from the carer community this month from our October priorities poll. Suzanne, tell us a little bit about this poll. What is it, and how does it come about?
Well, every month we ask our community of carers, so through our daily emails and through our Facebook group and Twitter, we ask people, what's a priority for you right now? What's the top priority? We give them 4 choices, whether it's protecting their loved one from COVID, dealing with those practical issues, their own stress and anxiety, or if it's something else. So they've always got that something else option. And we also give them the opportunity to tell us why they chose the answer they did. So we're not just looking at numbers, and I think that's really important too. So do you want me to share what's coming out?
So what have we got coming out? Let's have a look at what we've got.
Let's have a look. Okay, let me share my screen. Hopefully you'll see. There we go. There's our nice little chart. So you can see we've been tracking this same question since April, really. So since the beginning of the pandemic. And what's coming up as most important at the moment is that blue line, the virus. And you can see that's kind of back on heading to another peak. So people are feeling with this second wave of COVID, with numbers going up, that they're really concerned about keeping their loved ones safe. The risks feel high, and particularly where their loved ones are in care homes, they feel unable to control those risks. And for many people, they're facing going back into shielding or kind of doing that for themselves, really, and just finding that really depressing. It's a really tough thing to be looking at.
And are there any techniques or approaches which carers have found really effective to deal with that concern?
Yeah, so we saw last month that the stress and anxiety of the whole situation was really getting to people. Look at that red line back in September, and that's dropped off. So people have been really engaging with the wellbeing cuppers, coming and chatting to other people, and actually just sharing the strategy, sharing the things that helped, finding their own thing that works for them has been really important. So for some people, it's breathing techniques. For other people, it's journaling. But for a lot of people, it is just coming together as a community to let off a bit of steam and share those things. But and really supporting one another in that, whether it's in the cuppers or in the Facebook group as well. So that's what's helping.
And that community piece is really important, because some of the frustrations that carers are seeing, there's very little that anybody can do to fix, and actually being part of a community means that we can support each other through that process. And we're going to come back to that a little bit later. But I also wonder, Suzanne, so Carers UK have brought out a fantastic their state of caring report, behind closed doors report, which they did at the beginning of lockdown, and they've then done again now. And I wondered, do the results from our community match up with the findings from Carers UK's report?
I think they do. The Carers UK report obviously is much more in depth and looking at a much broader community of carers. But what they're saying is that 81% of carers are providing more care than before. So this impact of having to look after, actually protect someone, is an actual new thing that people are having to do. It also shows why people are struggling, because normal services have been shut down, daycare centres, respite care, just the clubs people used to go to, the neighbour that used to pop in and help, all those things have shut down. And people are also choosing, even where they are available, they're finding they're not quite confident in the safety of them and the sort of general safety of being out in the general population. So they're stepping back from those things as well. So yeah, the Carers UK report is showing similar trends, really. But I guess what we picked up on is that real thing in the last couple of weeks where the numbers are going up and how that's impacting people's thoughts about the virus.
Absolutely. I think those local lockdowns are creating a real shifting sense of what's going on, both for each of us individually. We're all in different situations, but also the fact that is changing over time. So from week to week, it's really hard to respond to. And it prompts us to be thinking about, what can we be doing as people out there looking to support carers, both in terms of carer supporting organisations, but also commissioners. And I guess there's three things coming out of it for us that we're finding effective. You mentioned, Suzanne, community. Community is so important, and really investing energy in that, in facilitating great peer support conversations, not just necessarily leaving people to get on with it with each other, but actually creating a bit of structure, making sure that everybody's equipped to have that peer support conversation in a really healthy way. The other piece that we found can be really effective is upskilling existing organizations. So we're working with local authorities in Camden, Shropshire, and other places, and really looking at where there are existing community organizations who can who are looking for support to identify carers and then find out how to have those supportive conversations with them. And we've got a clip which we'll put a link to somewhere, a little webinar to help people do that. And then thirdly, using data. So really honing in on those pain points and seeing what local authorities and others can do to support in really specific circumstances, which are looking really helpful. Well, Suzanne, thanks for your input on that and for bringing all of that, those polls together, which is really helpful. Just a quick plug before we go, and that is to say that on the 13th of November, Mobilise, alongside our partners at Sheffield University and Liverpool University, we're hosting a bit of a discussion about some of the themes that we've seen coming out of our CUPPers and the challenges for carers and the implications for commissioning as well. We'll include a link to that as well. Yeah. Suzanne, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Nice to talk about it.
Cheers, guys.